Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, the channel where we are making a computer role-playing game using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. I have updated the code of the game so that settlements are now consistent. So what I mean by that is if you are playing the game and go to a settlement at a particular place and then you leave and come back, the description of the creatures there will be the same and their attitude will be the same as it was before. So if they were hostile to you before, they'll still be hostile, and if they were friendly, they'll still be friendly. So in this video I want to show you what that looks like when playing the game, and then I will show you a bit about how I coded that. So let's create a random character, and we'll head off to the north. Nope, we won't, because that's a dead end. Notice how the lamp oil is going down, as it should. Let's go east instead. Is that east? Yeah, I'll go east instead. Okay, so we have come to a settlement, and the inhabitants have the appearance of old men from the waist up, wolves from the waist down with eagle-like wings. So I will approach them with a formal approach, let's say, and that seems to have worked quite well. They've offered to trade with us. Now, what should happen is if we leave and come back, those prices should be the same. So looking just at the buying ones, we've got 12, 14, 13, 12, 11. Well, let's just 12, 14, 13, 12, 11. So we'll just leave and come back, and we see that the description is the same. There's still a settlement there. The description's the same. And 12, 14, 13, 12, 11. So the prices have stayed the same as well. Now, if we haggle and if we were successful, the way that I've set it up, the prices would change in this interaction, but if we left and came back, they would revert to these sort of basic prices, I suppose. But that was just a deliberate choice. But so that's what it looks like. What it means is that there are sort of permanent features of the environment. So let's look at how I coded that. I don't want to show you every single bit of code because it's all based on a single principle, which is that you have an array which records the things that you want to continue. So you record the attitude of the settlement, the fact that there's a settlement there, the description of the people living there, and in the case of if they trade with you, the prices. And you have to have that in an array where it has to be at least two-dimensional, because it's a two-dimensional virtual dungeon, and so you need to have you need to store the description as this is the description of the people that are at 5 minus 2 or whatever the x and y coordinates might be. But that's really basically how it works. I'll just go through it in brief. I've already shown you the array M, which is a two-dimensional array, and each slot of the array tells you what tunnels lead from that particular point. Well, this works in basically the same way. It just records different things. MD records the attitude of the people that are there, if there are any. MO records the description of them. MS is the sort of basic what's there, and at the moment there's only two possibilities, which is 0, which is that it's an empty tunnel, and 1, which is that it's a settlement. And let's say we sorry, there is actually one more that I forgot about. I've shown you already the SS and SB arrays, which stands for spice buy and spice sell. So, for example, SB3 is how much it would cost you to buy 1 measure of the third spice, which would be nutmeg. Well, that array handles, well, those two arrays, SB and SP, handle the prices in the encounter that the player is currently having, but we also have SBP and SSP, and the P stands for permanent, where SB and SS can be a one-dimensional array because it's just a single variable, which is which spice are we talking about, but SBP has to be three-dimensional because we need to record which spice we're talking about, but we also need to record the location because the prices will be different at different locations, and that's the whole point of having the spices, is that you can buy them cheap. Hopefully you can buy them in particular places and sell them, and that's a way that you can make money in the game. So let's say that I, for example, ended up fighting the creatures. I found a settlement and ended up fighting the creatures. Let's say that I rolled quite well. RR is the total that you get when you go to the roll and add page and you virtually roll a d20, a 20-sided dice, and add whatever the relevant attribute is. So let's say I got a quite high result for RR. Well, it would set MD, the slot of MD that was related to the current location. CX and CY are the current X and Y coordinates, current X and current Y. It would set that to 3. And 3, sorry, I got on the wrong page. 3, if we go back here, means that when you come back to that position, if indeed you do, there's a 50% chance that there'll be nothing there. The monsters will have sort of upped stakes and left, or a 50% chance that the attitude will be 1, which means that they will sort of attack you on sight. As a side note, I should say that I've put the little comment notes on every line. I've ended the comment on every line and started it again, and you don't actually need to do that. As long as you've got one at the beginning and one at the end, you can have multiple lines of comments. So I could have deleted all of these except for that one at the beginning and that one at the end, and it would still have understood it. So that's sort of slightly sloppy practice. But anyway, the point is that the principle is quite straightforward. You have arrays which between them store all the information that you want to carry over from one visit to the settlement to the next, and you make sure to record all of that information in the encounter. It's actually the practice of doing that is quite complicated. The last 2 videos I've done have been on debugging, and that's because I've been going through the existing encounter pages, which I've already shown you, and sort of adding the code that stores the attitude for next time. And you know, I sort of made a lot of mistakes, and there was a lot of bits where I forgot to add it in, or stored the wrong thing or something. So the actual details of it are complicated, but the basic principle is pretty straightforward. And so now we have a game where we can have encounters, and they create a sort of meaningful environment. It isn't just that we leave and then the thing we've interacted with disappears. We can come back and we can say, okay, well, if I go that way, they'll attack me, and if I go this way, they'll be friendly, and if I go this way, I can buy a particular spice cheaply, and perhaps I can sell it at a high price over at this other place, and so on. And that sort of obviously creates opportunities for the game to be more interesting. So I hope that was of use or interest to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.